Hello and welcome to another episode of One Fall WrestleCast Live. Tom and I are here with you this week. We've got plenty to discuss, mostly in the vein of Saturday night's main event, where we saw John Cena's last match. Can't wait to break that down. And anything else that comes about. So we'll catch you on the other side.
Welcome to the One Fall WrestleCast.
Fucking
Still
internet,
won.
bro.
I actually had Verizon here today installing a one of those like whole home internet nests. So now I've got more things hardwired in, and my download speeds have never been faster, but I've never had less games to download. So shout out to Verizon, but also like boo to video game publishers for not publishing more games so that I could download them and play them.
You know what I think it is, and if I'm being honest with you, I know you just before we came in here, I just called my wife and told her to tell my kid to turn it because it's bedtime. I've been really struggling since I bought the PlayStation, and it's just constantly in rest mode.
I mean, it's not
I'm wondering
drawing
if
it.
that's sucking some of
Your bandwidth. I mean, only if stuff's downloading. Like you're not downloading stuff.
No, but I don't know. It just seems pretty coincidental that
I don't know. I never leave mine in rest mode. I shut mine off.
I've really been.
I'll just boot it up and shut it off. It boots up fast enough. That doesn't need to be in rest mode. I'm not stopping what I'm doing mid-play.
So.
There you go. You back now? All right.
Yeah, I think we're good. Hopefully,
you
we're
look
good.
you look nice in 1080p now in a good hard stream.
Well, that's good. Good. Hopefully, spoke too soon. Spoke too soon. Here we go. What is that fucking feedback that I'm hearing?
I don't know. I don't hear any feedback. I hear Damien going upstairs with a backpack. I got a fresh Christmas tree up. That's actually what I was doing last Monday. Well, finishing it up last Monday.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, and there really wasn't much to talk about last Monday either. Just kind of, I think we were
wrestling was on.
Yeah.
It killed LA Knight. He gets a holiday off.
Yeah. Friend of the show, Pat Martin. I think the problem is that jersey you're wearing, those colors, does not look good on you. Hey, buddy, why don't you take your fucking ass back to Cleveland and shut the fuck up, huh?
Look, I like Pat.
Fucking telling you what. I'm telling you
Pat,
what,
I
bro.
like you. I like you, man, but I don't know that we can. I don't know that we can shit on the black and gold here. This is not.
You miss me with your shit brown and shit orange over there. Even though you are Cleveland's favorite son, and I still love you. Glad to see that you're here, buddy.
Best thing to come out of Cleveland. But he left, so what are you going to do about it?
Yeah. Not much you can do about it. So, obviously, Tom, Saturday night's main event this weekend. How did we feel overall?
So, I mean, I think it behooves us to go match by match. I think it started really, really, really weak. But I thought the last three matches were just bangers. Unpopular opinions, of course, about I have an unpopular opinion, of course, not that to anybody's surprise, about John Cena's last match.
Yeah, we'll get
I
there.
thought
We'll
the
get
show,
there.
but
I got things
I
to
thought the
say
show
about that, too.
overall was. I thought the show overall was good. I thought that I really liked Jesse Ventura being on the post show, not really like being part of the commentary team, but I liked him as part of the post
He
show.
was on the pre-show too, wasn't he?
I didn't catch the pre-show, but I imagine he probably was part of that panel as well. But I liked the Macho Man beard.
Because I think that he was quoted as saying, "Oh,
back."
Yeah, I think he was quoted on the pre-show as, "Oh, been a 17-time champ, it's fucking great, yay." He's been a 17-time world champion, which means he's lost the title 17 times. I don't know that that's anything to brag about. Shut the fuck up.
I mean, it's a funny thing to say. I don't know that it's I don't know that it's valid, but it's a funny thing to say, and I think that's something for Jesse. I did not see that part. I saw that clip later, but I only saw him on the post show. So I thought him being not part of the commentary team was a good call. I thought Michael Cole and Wade Barrett did a great job. I loved seeing the NXT talent up there. I think they absolutely called up the right people. Everybody looked like a big deal. Yeah, I mean, do we want to talk about the matches and we'll talk about the first one first, or we got something else to sprinkle in here?
Nope, I think we're good to go. The show kicked off with Obafemi versus Cody Rhodes, which the rumors were swirling all week that John Cena wishing to kick off the show. He get that marquee main event under his belt, but we put the kibosh on that. What did you think about Cody versus Oba?
So I hated it. Not that I thought the match was bad. I thought it was very good. I thought they were the two right guys to meet together. I liked that it went on first. I hated that whatever, and I think they called an audible. I'm not sure that it was. I'm sure Drew coming out was probably part of everything anyway at some point, but I think Cody busted something in his ear, and I think that match got cut short. Because Cody's ear was bleeding pretty bad, like from the inside, and there was a lot of sort of back and forth and pointing, and Cody Rhodes isn't going to quit in the middle of the match, but I think they hurried up and finished it so that they could get Cody some medical attention. Hopefully, I mean, we haven't heard of anything serious, and usually that's something we hear about, especially in the beginning of Monday Night Raw or something, and they did not say anything about Cody, so. I don't know if there is anything serious, if they just don't know yet, or if it's just like a busted eardrum or something, and which obviously Cody has recovered from before, thanks Travis Scott, and had to go on. But no, I didn't like the finish at all. I thought that it was a cop out. I think Obafemi's a big deal. I think he's a bigger deal than they gave him credit for. I think this match should have gone on a few minutes longer. He did. He looked like a huge deal. He looked great on Friday night too. I don't know if you caught that episode of SmackDown, but
I did.
He told Cody, he's like, everybody's talking about I'm the future, and he came out and my time is now. Like he got in Cody's face, cut a killer promo. And I mean,
and I was very much of the opinion that I felt like Ricky Saint should have been in that spot. But Oba delivered.
Yeah, I mean, going into it, I could see how you could say that. Yes, but it's hard to deny Obafemi's abilities, so to speak. I mean, the guy's legs look like tree trunks. I mean, his legs are two of mine. He's a massive man who can do massive feats of strength, and just looks. I mean, he threw Cody around like a rag doll. It was something beautiful to behold. But again, I think that I hated the finish. I think they called an audible or at least cut it short. So I'm going to give them a pass on that. But this was by far the weakest match on the card, just based on like there being interference and it just kind of cutting the whole thing short at the end. It felt like a weak start in my opinion, and I was not the biggest fan of how that ended. But I don't know. I guess we'll see where it goes from there. But I feel like it doesn't go anywhere from there, and I think that's kind of why.
No, they used it as a vehicle to continue the Cody and Drew thing, and it really didn't put Oba in the best light, and I don't necessarily know that it put Cody in the best light either, because if I'm being honest, he looked kind of weak coming out of that. And I mean, that's a tough spot for your undisputed WWE champion to be in. But I will say, and the only thing that I kept thinking was, man, the last time we saw the NXT champion on the main roster show, he came out in a skirt and a gimp mask and then got squashed by Jeff Hardy.
Yes. And now Kevin doesn't work there anymore.
Allegedly.
But yeah, I thought Cody looked weak. Drew clearly has been out to get some sort of a hair transplant on his scalp because he had and that's clearly not healed and all back in yet. So that looked a little awkward. The whole thing that whole match just felt awkward and kind of wrong. But I don't fault Oba for any of that. He looked great. If anybody looked good in that, it was him. It was sort of everybody else around it that sort of looked bad. So I think that, while not the best, if it was an audible because maybe something happened to Cody's ear or whatever, and they were just like, look, we just got to get this home. And the referee called to the back, hey, send Drew where this isn't going another 6 minutes. Send Drew now. And they did a couple little spots here and there. And, maybe threw an extra commercial in, maybe gave everybody else an extra minute or so to breathe. I can't fault it because the next 3 matches I thought were they were great. So, shitty appetizer, but
yeah,
man, great courses after that.
Yeah, for sure. So, like I said, man, Oba definitely looked like he deserved to be there. Even like you said, the promo on SmackDown, he really positioned himself as a big deal for the main roster audience that may or may not know who he is. So that was a very, very good thing for him. And, I do think that they did a very good job of positioning this quote unquote future talent throughout the show. And we will continue to discuss that moving forward. But I really did enjoy the one spot whenever Cody hit the drop down for the gold dust uppercut. And Oba was like, no, and hit him with choke,
just grabbed him by his neck.
Yeah, it was great. And like you said, up until the ear thing happened, it was okay. It just wasn't what I think that everybody anticipated that it could have been, or maybe that it should have been. And it was definitely the worst match on the card.
It felt like it was building, and then that happened, and it sort of slowed down, and then Drew showed up, and it was over. So it looked to me like they called an audible, and that's what I'm going with, unless I'm explicitly told otherwise.
So there's that. So moving on, we had Sol Ruka versus Bailey, which I thought was a fantastic little one-on-one.
Unbelievable. It was about as predictable as I thought. I knew going into this, Bailey's eating the pin here. But, man, Sol Ruka looks
it fucking
good.
Pisses me off.
Yeah, but to the credit, man, I really like Sol Ruka. I really do. And I really like Bailey. Everybody who watches or listens to the show would know that. I love Bailey. I think Bailey is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, period. Not just women wrestlers all time, period. Bailey, one of my favorites. But she seems to now be in the spot of the veteran who can clearly get a great match out of anybody. You're not going to have a bad match with Bailey. No. And she's now sort of the gatekeeper of this. She was for Lyra Valkyria. She seems to now be for Sol Ruka. This sort of gatekeeper role of all right, let's get you in here. Let's get you over. let's put on a couple great matches so that people know you're a real deal. And they'll put Bayley over and be like, Bayley's whatever she is, 5-time women's champion, longest reigning women's champion of all time. Like, Bayley's a big deal, and they put her over on commentary, and then she has a great match and she eats a pin. It's not an un-John Cena-esque thing to do, as far as that's concerned. Cena did a lot of that. Cena laid down and looked at the lights for a lot of guys on their way in. So it seems to me as though they've sort of positioned Bayley in that kind of situation. That being said, that match was unreal. Like, I think Sol Ruca matches are generally very good. She's generally very good. I don't know that I've seen her in the ring with a talent the caliber of Bayley in this sense where, like, you're going to have a good match regardless, right? Like, okay, it's a Bayley match. Bayley is going to be excellent. She's going to sell all your moves and make them look like $1 million. She's going to be in the right spot to hit every move and then sell it correctly. If she needs to do a roll up where you need to get your foot on the rope, it's right there. Oh man, it looks seamless. It looks flawless. And every time that's what it was. And with this match, that's exactly what it was. It was Bayley was in the right spot every time, walking Sol Ruca through what I thought was just a killer match.
No complaints here. I did tell you whenever we were kind of going back and forth on it live, I said I knew this fucking show was gonna piss me off, and here it is.
It was the first match. It was right when you turned it on too.
Friend of the show, Pat Martin, says she has overtaken Tiffy for my favorite female wrestler.
Sol Ruca or Bayley?
Sol Ruca.
She's really good, and she's really young, and like, she doesn't look like it, despite being a tall blonde, doesn't really look like anybody else on the roster. Her moveset doesn't really look like it's so unique.
Sorry, female. I hit the button.
But it's one of those things where, like, and then to see her in the ring with Bayley, and the result was what I expected it to be. I kind of feel like I'd have liked it maybe a little more if maybe Bayley would have lost it a little bit and got a sneaky win in, or a heelish win, but maybe that's not really what this pay-per-view is about. Wouldn't hate to see him run it back though, get Bayley or heat back or get a win back. But as far as this match goes, I thought it was great. It went exactly the way I thought. It was very predictable, but both of them looked great. And I think Sol went in with the Soul Snatcher. It's still one of the most it's one of the coolest moves that I've seen on the roster. It really is cool. It looks cool. It's a little ridiculous, but man, does it look cool every time. Especially when she hits it out of nowhere. And I thought it was really done really well with Bayley this time too. So good stuff. She also hit it.
Yeah, it is a super cool move. And like a cartwheel DDT, which was pretty freaking cool too, Yeah. So wasn't she like a gymnast in the WWE before she came to NXT? She was in like the WWE NIL, the Next in Line program. Or was that Tiffany that was the gymnast beforehand?
I think they both were, because like they've taken a lot of gymnasts. Gymnasts are, especially female gymnasts, take a lot of like hits and bumps because like you fall a lot when you're a gymnast. Yeah. And you fall on things not much softer than a WWE ring. So I think that they look to gymnasts as they've had a lot of success with women with a gymnastics background. And those women have had a lot of success, both in sort of being able to pull the moves off and being tough, but also seemingly within the like durability of it. Because let's face it, the thing that plagues the women's roster the most is like those joints come busted. Think about how many women have busted a knee or a shoulder or an elbow, and just have not necessarily like not been able to come back from it, but it's one of those things where it's like, especially as they sort of get up in age, once they start to hit 40 or so, like you got to kind of watch, because like one knee goes one way and that's it, you're done, and you're done for a long time. And we've seen that happen far too many times. So I think they're trying to sort of keep the durable female athletes but they're also trying to make sure that they're not wearing out the women who've carried them for like the last decade or so, who are now sort of approaching
Right.
40, because that's
Yeah.
sort of where that stuff starts to break down, and men too, but like particularly it seems like even more common for the women.
Yeah, and if you think about it too, Obafemi also came from that NIL. You think he was a football player or some shit?
He was a shot put.
At
He was a
Alabama.
shot put. Yeah,
Well,
he got
I thought he was a football player.
But they actually mentioned it on Friday.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, full. He had a full scholarship to I think Alabama to throw the shot put, and now he just throws men around, and it was great. His promos lately have really hit too. Like the man can do it all, so I'm really excited to see him come up and get it done. And I think that's really what's about to happen. I think we're about to see a good bit of change coming, starting today, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously haven't settled into start watching Raw. I will do that after the Monday Night Football game when we are done here. But I feel like change is on the horizon, and that we've definitely closed a pretty big book in the history of WWE this past weekend, and we've put some folks in situations that they can quote unquote grab the brass ring, as Vince McMahon always used to challenge everybody to do. So it's going to be really interesting to see how things shake out from here until the end of the year, and obviously once we hit the Rumble and get into the road to WrestleMania, which is right around the corner here. It's going to be an interesting road to Mania, I believe.
Except the Rumble's going to be at like 1 p.m. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
Our annual figuring out of trying to go watch the Rumble is going to be like, oh shit, it's 1 o'clock. What are we gonna do? What are we supposed to do at 1 o'clock?
Yeah,
so we get hit up. Right? You guys have a rival in Morgantown? Maybe I'll come see you. I think Ashley's going to be out of town.
No, I do not have a rival.
Rival has apparently been showing. I have not been there, but they put the flyers. I've been in there for other reasons, but they apparently show WWE, and if you wear a shirt on the day of the event, you get like 5% off your bill, and they do specials and stuff for it. So that might be an interest. Depending on what time it starts and all that, that might be an interesting place to check out, because I would like to be there for a show. If it's 1 p.m, we go and it sucks, we'll just peace out. It'll be fine. Go watch somewhere else. But yeah, I think the change is coming, and I think this was sort of the first match that was sort of like, oh, we're about to get some talent coming up. Who's been doing some big things for a while, and I wouldn't hate to see Sol Ruka come up first, and she might be on tonight. Who knows?
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of big talent that's up and coming, let's talk about the next match. World Tag Team Champions AJ Styles and Dragon Lee taking on Javon Evans and Leon Slater. When this match was over, you were like, "Holy fuck!"
Yeah, it was. So as good as the previous match was, this was better.
I mean, it was a spot fest for sure.
Leon Slater is, the man has earned my respect. I had seen him a couple times before, but wasn't really paying close attention to him. But watching him be in there, like the guy's ring awareness is second to none. Like AJ slipped on the ropes, which happens sometimes. Those ropes get slick.
I thought he died.
I thought he died too. But Leon Slater was smart enough to, one, run over and cover him, check on him, make sure he kicked out, and the match went on as normal. Like it turned what could have been a disaster spot into like, oh shit, like this guy, and then the rest of it really ended up being very good. Javon Evans, always impressive. The guy can fly or something. I don't understand how he stops in the air.
He's bouncy.
He's floaty is what he is. He just floats, but yeah, he's bouncy, man. I mean, he's awesome. And like I said, Leon Slater really, really impressed me as well. That's not to take anything away from Dragon Lee and AJ Styles. AJ, one of the best to have ever done it, ever. Dragon Lee just, continues to be. I think I was skeptical of this pairing at first, but I think I like it a lot more now. He seemed kind of lost in Rey Mysterio's shadow. Dragon Lee did, and
Yeah.
I think putting him with AJ has increased his value exponentially. And I'm really enjoying this tag team run. Loving that Dragon Lee kind of gets to do a lot of the crazy spots that we would see Prime AJ do. And AJ just kind of gets to be there to catch people for the Styles Clash or whatever. It's a really good pairing, especially knowing what we know about this, being AJ's last year, next year, and what have you. So I really just think it's been really good. And this match really has been the pinnacle of their little tag team title run thus far, I think, too, because it got time, and whether that's because Cody and Cody had
Well,
to have
according to this, it only got 6.5 minutes.
What?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. 6 minutes and 26 seconds.
I feel like that went a little longer than that. Just are we talking just ding bell to bell, just ding to ding? Because there were entrances.
I'm assuming that's bell to bell. But 6:26. This is on Yahoo.
They packed a lot in the 6:26 then. Because you're right. It was kind of a spot fest, but they weren't ridiculous spots. They were just big spots. And it's nobody got tired, which was exciting to see. But a killer match all over the place. Everybody just did. Again, I can't say enough about Javon Evans, how fucking impressive the guy is. Every time he comes out there, I'm like, I think I've seen everything. And then I'm like, how do his limbs do that? How does he do that? Just the body control this guy has is just unreal. And Leon Slater, holy shit. Holy shit. Both of them.
He's definitely going to wind up in the Fed here when that TNA contract expires.
Absolutely.
They're clearly positioning him for that opportunity, and just got to get him there,
I think it makes sense to put him into NXT. Obviously, they're going to be pulling Oba up soon. Put a belt on him and let him feud with Ricky Saints and whomever else is hanging out down in NXT to make NXT continue to be relevant and interesting. But I think he's certainly once he's out of TNA and once he's got a WWE contract, I think that'll probably be next year. I want to say I read somewhere on the internet that his contract is up at the end of the first quarter of next year in TNA, and they're expecting him. So I would expect him to have a big year in NXT next year if that ends up being the case. Spend the next year in NXT just wreaking havoc and doing cool shit. Seeing if he's not just a flash in the pan and he's got the upward trajectory that he seems to have, and then maybe we'll see him next year in the 2027 Royal Rumble. That'd be cool.
Yeah. This year. A lot of good things. It feels like. Feels like there's a lot of great things coming down the pipe. In the next couple of years, and we'll dive into this a little bit more once we get into our analysis, so to speak, of the main event and all of the fallout from said main event. On what wrestling fans are saying, and yeah. So, but I feel like there's a lot of great talent that is coming through the pipeline, and it's just a matter of getting some of those folks to where to make that the way that it needs to matter.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of NXT is they can spend.
Can you hear me?
Months. I can hear you now. You kind of broke up a little bit. Uh-oh. He's doing this now. There you go. But yeah, I mean,
I'm
I
here.
think
Could
that
you hear me?
I could hear most of you, and then you kind of got blurry. Your frame rate
I'm
tanked.
getting
Hold on.
real fucking frustrated again.
Let me do this. Maybe this will help. All right. Now there's less of me to render. Um, but it just becomes like one of those things where it's like when you think about how many guys are in the main event who are like our age, right? Like when we were like 30, everybody in the main event was like 30, and now we're like 41, and all those guys are still our age, because it's the same
Yeah.
guys. And it's 10 years is a long time to fall down for a living. It really is. Especially once you've done it from 30 to 40. So it really feels like we need to get some fresh young guys in there. And it's like Braun Breaker's great. He really is. And I understand, blah, 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 future of the business, yada, yada, yada. But Bronson Reed's at like 38. Like he's not a spring chicken. I realize Braun Breaker's 27, 28 now. So like he's got time, and that's great. But he's gonna need other guys to feud with once all the 40-plus-year-old guys ride off into the sunset here in the next 5 or 6 years, or at least want to be very, very part-time like your Roman Reigns. So we're kind of seeing now that WWE has realized that they have an age problem, particularly on the men's side of things, and it seems like they're taking some pretty drastic steps to sort of try to remedy that. And I think that they've clearly got a few stars already kind of in the chamber ready to go with Oba and with Braun Breaker, and now also with a couple of other guys coming up. Javon Evans and Ricky Saints, but they need to like rebuild that, because now you have to replace a John Cena. You still haven't really replaced the Undertaker. You have to replace a very part-time Roman Reigns. You're gonna have to replace the Cody Rhodes here pretty soon, I'm sure. Stuff like that is
CM Punk's, Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
I mean the upper third of the roster is aging rapidly.
Yeah, the upper third of the roster is 40 plus, and like the bottom part of the roster that's not is like, and even LA Knight's like 45. Damian Priest is like 46 years old. Like he says, "Oh, sure, I got tons in the tank. I feel great. I'm gonna do this a long time." But that's just not true. Like he's not Ric Flair. I'm glad he feels good. But it's just not true. And they're going to need guys to come up here who are not 45 plus to be main event contenders. Hell, they're going to need guys who are not 40 plus to hold title belts. And we might see that sooner rather than later, but in Braun Breaker, but there's going to have to be some challengers you can't have like one 28-year-old guy just hammering on a bunch of 40 plus dudes, And that seems to be they seem to have figured out that, oh shit, this is a problem. We got to get these guys back in here. So they're probably going to be moving pretty quickly. Hopefully that works out for them, because I like a lot of these guys, and hopefully they don't just end up getting thrown in the deep end and end all drowning, because that'd be terrible.
Yeah, for sure. So it's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how they continue to build some of this talent. I mean, and they've got some ready-made guys that are ready to come up and carry some things. I mean, even just this past week, Chelsea Green was talking about how she can't wait for Ethan Page to get a call up so that they can continue their thing on the main roster. I feel like we're situating that some of these folks that we've gone out and gotten and we've invested some time and energy into in the NXT product are going to eventually have to hit the main roster at some point in 26, like an Ethan Page and a Ricky Saints. And I mean, we talked about it heavily. Oba Femi, Sol Ruka. We've already seen Lash Legend come to the main. Obviously, Fraxium has come to the main.
What a big impact Lash Legend had, like both times, or because one in War Games, I thought she looked good. And then after that, just like every time that pump kick, and it might just be how because she's tall, she's huge.
She's big.
she's
a big girl.
huge.
She's a big girl.
That pump kick looks insane. Like Jade Cargill's pump kick looks good, but Lash Legend's pump kick looks like you died. Like it looks like it sucks to take. Probably because she's got a foot and probably 50 pounds on everybody she's done it to. But Jesus Christ, like, I mean, she's like what 6'5", 210 pounds, like.
I don't think she's probably 6'5". She's probably like 6'2". She just looks like a fucking 7-footer because everybody else is that small. Friend of the show, Pat Martin, says, thick.
Yeah. I mean, I know I don't want to take that pump kick. Maybe you do, Pat.
She can give me that pump kick.
We'll take the pump. I don't know me, man. I'm too old for this shit now. I'll be dead.
I'll take all the pumps. You know what I'm saying? Oh shit!
That pump kick.
So,
stare you eye to eye too.
Yeah, for sure. So moving on, we had an in-ring segment with The Miz. Bitching, moaning, and complaining that he wasn't a part of the show. But he was a part of the show. And then R-Truth come out talking about playing with balls. And that, The Miz took somebody's balls and replaced their balls with his balls. It was very, very Attitude Era, Crash TV, one-line joke things. And then all of a sudden, say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
I mean, is this so what I was thinking about this, is this Joe Hendry's call-up? Is Joe Hendry going to be part of the main roster now to torment The Miz? Because that's his thing. Like, right? Everybody's like, oh, Joe Hendry's the nicest guy. And then he tortures somebody by just appearing.
Yes.
So is he going to torture The Miz now? Because I would.
I'd be here for it if I'm being honest with you. I think the Miz needs something to do. Friend of the show, Pat Martin, says Miz needs to retire, and I love The Miz. I think we're probably knocking on that door, Pat.
Yeah, I mean, Miz is 5 or 6 years older than we are. I can look this up. I'm sitting in front of a computer. But I can't say that I think he's got a long time left. Yeah, he's 45. He'll be 46. Is he already 46? He is 45. He'll be 46 next year.
Yeah.
But
so, he fits right in with what we've been talking about.
Yeah, I mean, he's not long for this either, but he's going to be an important guy. He's a great guy that you bring in, you let him get beat and squashed by matches because he's got the credentials. He makes everybody look good. He's credible. All the matches that he has are very good, or not very good, but they're good. They're not bad. He never has bad matches. And it just, he looks great. He could talk. He's still in shape. I mean, I'd say keep The Miz around as long as you can, and then when he's done, put him on commentary. Like, The Miz is awesome. I love The Miz. I don't know how much longer he gets to wrestle, but I did love this little spot with R-Truth. I thought that was a great segment for both of them to be in.
For sure.
It's unfortunate
the
that
awesome
The Miz
truth.
It's unfortunate that The Miz didn't get to be a part of the whole. I mean, other than being in the tournament, like he didn't actually get to face John Cena. But The Miz has fought John Cena plenty, and nobody needs to see that again. So I feel like this is like the next best thing. I was pretty happy with this. I don't know that The Miz is, but he kind of came on today and he wrote out a message about John Cena and just saying that, he got his great last match with John Cena, and it was him and R-Truth, and they got to do the 5-knuckle shuffle. There was a 3-on-3 6-man tag, and they got to do that together. So he had a good time, and I don't know. It was cool to see him out there and R-Truth as part of this, but not as part of the match, because these were high work rate matches for the most part, and that felt, the Miz matches really aren't that. So it was cool that he had a segment.
Yeah, and it was a good segment, and it felt meaningful. to what they were trying to accomplish. And yeah, I think it was a great time filler. I
Lighten
think
the
it
mood
gave the
too.
lighten the mood, gave the fans a little something to, oh, this is why we love wrestling. Oh yeah, that whole fucking feel good moment. Watching the Miz get his dick kicked in, and yeah, so. Well, Tom, that brings us to the reason that we're here.
Brings us to the reason why we needed a feel good moment beforehand, a little palate cleanse.
John Cena's last match.
Local man ruins wrestling. It's basically what that was.
Yeah. John Cena's last match. Obviously, Gunther hits the ring first. Looks like $1 million. He's supposed to be in that spot, right? He was absolutely the guy for that spot. Cena comes out. He does the whole fucking thing with Stu. By the way, have we been worked for 20 years? Stu is actually Tom.
Stu is Tom, no, but not me. Stu's name is Tom.
And all this time we thought it was STU Stu, and here it's STEW Stu, as in Tom Stewart Stu. We got worked.
We did get worked. It was his ring name. It was his gimmick name. Was Stu, but he's Tom Stewart. But yeah, we did get worked because we only knew him as Stu, and we didn't even see his face because it was always like, "Let's go to work, Stu." But Stu was holding the camera. Tom.
Yeah.
Jeez. So we never saw him, and then now we see him, and we're like, "That's not what I thought he looked like." And also, I thought his name was Stu, not Tom. So yeah, you're right. Swerve, a big swerve.
They really did Stu dirty with the way they cut away from that when Cena took the camera and put it in his face, and you got like a half of a second of seeing Stu's face. I mean, it is freeze framed and plastered all over the internet now. So there is that, but he's made that poor old man run down to the ring all these years behind him.
And then he fucked up the camera work.
Yeah, fucked up the camera work.
Damn it, John.
Actually, that was Lee Fitting's fault for sure. John Cena took that camera, and Lee was like, "Cut to the ringside camera." They're like, "Hey, they're trying to have a fucking moment here, dickhead."
It's like, yeah, we know John Cena doesn't know how to run a camera. We get it. Don't cut away. This is the kind of train wreck we want to see. What's gonna happen here? Gonna put an old man's face on TV is what's gonna happen.
So, what do you think about the match?
I thought it was exactly what I thought was gonna happen. If I'm being honest, it was, Gunther comes out strong, not too strong. So somebody on the internet had said, and I want to preface my reaction with this. Somebody on the internet says, John Cena should have been battered and bruised and, just taken out and just beat all over the ring. And then, had to come in and climb back into the ring. Avoiding the 10 count and what have you. And I'm like, no, look, John Cena is 47 years old. John Cena did not need to get beat within an inch of his life. What John Cena needed to do was have a good, safe match with a guy who does not have bad matches, which is exactly what happened. And if you noticed, he didn't really Gunther could chop the shit out of anybody and turn their chest into hamburger meat. He did not do that to John Cena. John Cena took a couple chops, but he didn't take like 15. He took like 2 or 3, and Gunther didn't really lay him in too I can't think of any chops where it was just like, oh God, and maybe that's a missed opportunity, but also
right.
The guy's on his way out. Maybe don't cripple him on the way out the door. So that's kind of how I saw it as it was happening. But I thought the match was really was the way I thought it was going to be. Gunther comes out strong, hits John Cena a lot, taunts the crowd, taunts John Cena. Cena looking weak. Cena, to his credit, hulks up. Does the Super Cena thing, hits everybody, hits some attitude adjustments, which is what everybody wants to see. You want to see Super Cena hulk up and do his thing, and he did that, got his flurry in, got a 5-knuckle shuffle. We got a couple of them. Cena played all the hits, and then, man, Gunther cut him down. Gunther cut him down hard and just power bomb after power bomb, and lariats and a couple chops, and they all looked safe. None of it was like, oh my god, I'm gonna thwap Cena's head off, but it was a brutal beating, and then just those chokes for a couple minutes, and Cena kept trying to get out, and then he didn't. And honest to God, like, I know the internet hated this, and I know a lot of people hated this, but they had that shot perfect where they zoomed in on Cena's face after like 2 minutes of him trying to get out of that choke, and you just see Cena smirk like he's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi. It was like the same smirk Obi-Wan gave when he looked over at Luke before Darth Vader cut him down. Strike me down and I'll become more powerful than you could ever imagine. It was that Obi-Wan moment. And you just see him.
Yep.
And that crowd exploded. That crowd was so mad. Nobody has ever been madder than that crowd before. They were so fucking pissed. Like, you were thought that, like,
what?
that crowd was getting
they were fucking angry. And it's like, I don't I don't understand why everybody was surprised that Cena lost this last match. And then obviously Gunther clears out, does his celebrate, and he clears out. Cena gets his moment. Everybody comes down to the ring, and as soon as they see fucking Triple H, that fucking place just goes bonkers. Boo! You fucked up. You fucked up. What did we fuck up?
What?
I don't understand what we fucked up. What did we fuck up?
We fucked up nothing. In fact,
are we of the age where we remember all of the greats that we grew up watching saying, you always looked up at the lights on your last night in the territory? Are we because we're that age, we remember that?
Yes. And I think that John Cena is the guy who, while he does that, if you're a John Cena fan, if you were a Super Cena fan because you were 11 and you took hustle, loyalty, and respect, you took that to heart, during like those mid 2000s, whatever, 06, 07 on kind of stuff. If you took that to heart and John Cena was your superhero, if he was your Hulk Hogan, you don't think about, because like if you think about it, The Undertaker didn't lose his last match.
Yeah, but also to be fair, and I'm glad you brought that up because I have this screen grab here, and it's I meant to upload it, but I got home late, and it's last match of wrestlers. It's got Ric Flair, and it says he won. Yeah, but he didn't. His actual real last match in WWE, he got his face fucking kicked off, and Shawn Michaels fucking won the match. And then it's got Shawn Michaels, and it says lost, or it says won. Yeah, Shawn Michaels did win in a match in Saudi Arabia that was the worst fucking abomination of a wrestling match to ever fucking take place inside of a wrestling ring.
Well, except for Goldberg and Undertaker, that was
okay. We're there. It's the same level, same playing field, right?
Yeah.
Then it's got Bret Hart won. Okay, and this is the picture of Bret Hart whenever he beat Vince McMahon. What?
Yeah.
And then Triple H, this looks like a house show. He won. Kurt Angle lost. Yeah, he should have lost. Baron Corbin was an up-and-coming superstar. He should have lost. The Undertaker, his final match, he won. Yeah, it was a fucking pre-taped fucking cinematic match, and nobody expected that to be his last match, but it was. Stone Cold Steve Austin won his final match against Kevin Owens. Yeah, sure, it was a nostalgia pop. It felt good. That wasn't really his last match. Goldberg lost. Yeah, he should have lost to Gunther. And then John Cena lost. Yeah, he should have lost to Gunther. Yeah. I don't understand why the internet is in such an uproar about the decision on this. Is it because we thought that the invincible never give up John Cena was just going to ride off into the sunset? I mean, the man finalized every single accolade that he could have finalized in this last 12 months. He became a 17-time world champion. He turned heel. He won he competed in and won an elimination chamber for the first time. right? No,
Yeah.
he was in an elimination chamber before.
Yeah, but he won this time.
So he competed in the elimination chamber. He won. He went to WrestleMania main evented with Cody Rhodes and he won. He turned heel. He won the Intercontinental Championship. Like, he got to do things that he really shouldn't have been put in a situation to do. So for wrestling fans to be upset at the end of the day that he lost his last match, I think you need to go and you need to take a look at the history books, and you need to understand that history will suggest that most folks lose in their last night at the territory.
Also, I think the other reason that they were upset was because, he gave up, right? He tapped out. Now, he didn't say I quit. He didn't lose an I quit match, which I think would have been worse. But he tapped out to a guy who usually taps guys out. And everybody's acting as though John Cena has never tapped out before, and that's not true. It's just plainly untrue. Like, he tapped out to Kurt Angle twice. Chris Benoit, though we're not allowed to talk about that. Chris Jericho to the walls of Jericho lost the world heavyweight title to Chris Jericho tapping out, and now to Gunther. So there's really no precedence for this anger, but I like that the anger exists because I think people feel like they're too used to being coddled. You know what I mean? By everything in media. It's like, oh, it's always a happy ending. It's always this. It's always that. And wrestling's not supposed to be that way. Like, you're supposed to hate Gunther so bad that when the next babyface comes up and kicks the shit out of him, that guy becomes your new favorite wrestler ever because he beat the shit out of the guy that made your hero give up. And now you got a new guy, and that's what they need to do. Now, could they totally fumble it? Absolutely. They could, and you can be mad about that if and when it happens.
And they very well might.
But, like, that's not what happened yet. This was done correctly. The correct amount of heat happened. I
agree.
The heat that Gunther has right now is fucking nuclear. He came out first on Raw tonight. Barely said it, really just taunted the crowd for 5 or so minutes. And, like, he got, like, not the comic, boo, Dominic Mysterio boos, that when Dom pulls the mic up to his face, everybody just boo. It was like, it was a roar of boos, like, you suck. Like, people were like viciously angry about it, and that's the emotion that you want.
Well, I mean, they followed him he had to be escorted out of the building on Saturday night to his bus because people were like in the parking lot fucking waiting for him. Like, what are we doing?
That's wrestling though. Like, you hear, like, if you listen to, like, the Jim Cornette podcasts and stuff, that's the kind of heat that you want to get. And I'm sure I haven't listened.
But, like,
I haven't listened to Corny yet. I'm excited to hear what Corny has to say about it because I think he's going to be over the moon about this because somebody finally got that kind of heat that he could get with the Midnight Express kind of thing. And I bet he's going to say something like that. But this was just like one of those things where it's like when it happened, I thought it was a beautiful moment. And then that crowd reaction was like 10 times what I thought it was going to be. You know what I mean? Like, they were pissed. And I was like, oh man, that's they're madder than I thought they were going to be about this. But apparently they were just as mad as Triple H thought they were going to be, because both as he was walking out smiling his ass off and during that press conference after the fact, it was, you could tell him he had everybody hook, line, and sinker, and that he got exactly what he wanted out of it. So I think that as long as they continue to do something good with this and book it well coming out of here, I think that this will be seen, at least internally at WWE, as a success. I thought it was good. I really liked it. But I don't know. The fan reaction and just the sort of like online kind of like, well, this is terrible and I'm going to quit and blah, blah, blah. Like, no, you're not. No, you're not. You probably don't even watch wrestling in the first place if you're this mad about it. You tuned in to watch John Cena lose.
Yeah, right.
Sorry about your luck, pal.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. I don't know, man. I feel like this was absolutely the right decision. I feel like the match was as good as it should have been for John's last match.
Yeah.
I mean, after almost 30 years of hustle, loyalty, and respect, I feel like John Cena left it all in the ring.
Yeah.
I feel like the moment at the end of the show with Cody and Punk felt very awkward and forced. I understand why it happened, but it just, in the natural scheme of things, I didn't really care for that decision.
It seemed, I know why they did it, and I'm sure they planned, but you could tell Cena was like, I kind of don't want to do this, and then they made him do it anyway, and it was fine, but it was I agree, it was like a little too much. You're right there. Oh, you're freezing. I see.
Yeah, man, like it's so chunky right now, and like I'm getting fucking frustrated. And it's 10 o'clock, and I can still hear my kid upstairs talking, and I'm getting extremely angry.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
And now I can't.
No, can you hear me? Hold on, maybe it's me. I hit.
Yeah, I can hear you. I couldn't for a minute. It's just
okay. I hit the mute button
today.
I hit the mute button. My bad. Anyway, yeah, man, I thought that was a little much too. I watched the post show, and it was fine. There wasn't really much of note other than the crowd was still upset while they sat around. But man, what a good match though, and I think that's an important. I don't want to glaze over that because it was, we talk about Gunther and how good he is all the time, and like that last match, man, like him giving him the last match is like, well, we need this to be good, so Gunther, you're in charge, go make this good. And sure enough, the man delivers every single time, and we got it again with the final John Cena match because John looked great, Gunther looked great, John Cena's AAs looked good. I appreciate that Gunther didn't chop John Cena into a bunch of ground beef. I think that was an important distinction to make, and a good thing not to do to a guy, one, who's on his way out the door, and two, probably is really busy and needs to go work. So maybe don't, rip his body apart before he has to go, take his shirt off for whatever movie he's filming. And I really thought it was as good of an ending as we were going to get for John Cena, and honestly something that I think is important, because I think Cena as a wrestler is one thing, and everybody feels one way or the other, and I think a lot of people have come around on him on this retirement tour, but for the longest time it was like, Jesus Christ, they're forcing this guy down our throats, and I think that his real importance to wrestling is kind of outside of the ring. So now they've kind of got this like superhero that they can be like, that was our guy. He's got the most world championships. He's not problematic. He's really nice. He does a ton for charity. And there's just nothing that we can do, that we need to do or say, other than like, hey, that's our Superman. He's a 17-time world champ. He retired. Superman retired. But man, what a great guy our Superman is. And it kind of can wash away some of that Flair Hogan stuff that has been a little bit yucky, and then some of that Vince McMahon stuff that's been a little bit yucky the last couple of years,
Yeah, for sure. So I think that it needs to happen. Favorite John Cena career moment?
Favorite John Cena career
feud,
moment?
match, whatever you want to.
So I think the build of the 5 moves of Doom, when he came with that 1-inch punch, what was it, 3-4 years ago? After the build up of that, and it just kind of being a bullshit funny like punch that I think he did win a couple matches with, maybe even a U.S. title. That I think was my favorite thing John Cena did in the ring. Just because it was so random and weird, but that like fit his character, I thought, so perfectly that like that sort of became the arc of like what made people like Cena. Outside of the ring, I would say my favorite thing John Cena has done is certainly the work he's done in Peacemaker. I'm a big DC fan. Obviously, the charity stuff and the Make-A-Wish is very important. But I love him in Peacemaker. I think he's hilarious. I think his comedic timing is great. I hope to see him in a lot more movies and TV shows because I think he's good. And now that he's not wrestling anymore, I think it's, I do think the WWE product suffered a little bit because there was a little too much focus on John Cena. So I'm excited to see him go and have some fresh blood come in. So it's like, none of this is bittersweet to me. I'm like very excited that, like, okay, you guys were right. I now do like John Cena. I'm glad to see him go though, and I'll watch him on TV. That'll be great, like in TV shows. So I'm happy with the whole. For me, as a fan who wasn't a big fan, I didn't grow up with him, obviously. This is a fitting end for the guy that's been the superhero of the company for the last 23 years. So yeah, but I would say that short punch was when he debuted that, I lost it. I laughed my ass off. I think I called you and told you how funny I thought it was.
I still haven't watched Ricky Stenicki yet.
It's unbelievably funny. That's all I can say. I laughed, especially the beginning. I laughed so hard. When they pick him up at the airport, it is, you might just have to see that scene because it's so funny.
Well, we'll see if I get that job done. For me, my favorite John Cena feud, moment, match, whatever, has to be the trilogy with Edge. Obviously, I'm an Edge guy, and there was a lot of good stuff, including the whole shit with his dad at the house and all that good stuff. And those matches were fucking phenomenal.
I think one of the saddest parts of John Cena's career was how early Edge's career ended. While they were both at the top of their game, it was
100%.
That could have gone more, but it couldn't, unfortunately. And I think that's something that we missed out on. And now to have seen it come and go, especially with Cena retiring and Edge not being anywhere around it, I understand for obvious reasons why, but it's kind of one of those. If there's anything bittersweet about this, I would say it's that.
So I agree that piece is definitely a little bit bittersweet because those guys probably could have had 12 or 18 great matches, throughout the years that were meaningful and, well put together and just beautiful pieces of art, so to speak. With all of that. So, hey man, we are very fortunate, I guess, to have gotten to enjoy John Cena's time in the WWE, and we learned to never give up and hustle, loyalty, respect, and all that good stuff, and say your prayers and eat your vitamins and all of those things. So, enjoy your retirement, Mr. John Cena.
Mr. John Cena,
you've definitely deserved, have earned the right. And I did agree with the crowd. You do still got it, and you probably could have given us another couple of years. But I also agree with Tom that the time has come and the time has gone. And go make some good movies, bro, and let these young bucks do their thing.
Yeah, I'll watch the movies. Don't wrestle anymore. You're good. Sure. You want to show up and give some great retirement speeches at the Hall of Fame and induct some people and get inducted yourself. That's all I want to see John Cena do in wrestling.
So maybe what about the segment of the audience that felt like somebody was going to come out and attack John Cena after the match?
It just sounds like coping. It sounds like wishful thinking.
Yeah, how mad would you be if you were in that arena and somebody came out and attacked John Cena, and then it's like, oh, I'm gonna wrestle at WrestleMania.
I mean, if you paid thousands of dollars for a ticket, I think you'd be mad.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably cheer in the moment, and I think that ends up being worse in the long term because then you got to do a program to get him to work at WrestleMania. So he's got to have, 6 or 7 dates leading up to it. So I don't know. This seems fitting. It seemed like a nice end. And now Gunther can take that heat and just get booed out of buildings and continue to slap around everybody's favorite baby faces until some champion finally puts him down. Some hero.
we'll see how that works out. So well, I guess they're just we kind of agreed because I want to watch the Steelers, the end of the Steelers game. So I guess there's just really one last piece of business that we have to partake in, and that is the world famous One Fall WrestleCast match of the week.
So my match of the
Tom,
week is not going to be any surprise. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus Javon Evans and Leon Slater. It really wowed me in the moment. I was into everything they were doing that match. I was captivated. I was especially impressed, like I said, because AJ did slip, which happens sometimes. And Leon Slater just jumped on it and looked like it was a real fight, and everything looked real and good. And it's just kind of one of those things that I like to see where like everybody's doing everything right. And even when something goes wrong, everybody does everything right. And I just thought it was good. And it was a good tag team match. The tags looked good. Everybody followed the rules, which I'm a big stickler for. Don't stand outside of the ring for 10 minutes, which WWE's been doing a lot better about. There hasn't been a lot of really long counts, and you've seen quite a few people be counted out. So I do appreciate that. In this match, they were holding the tag rope. They were doing all the right things. But runner-up shout out to the Usos and the New Day tonight, which was also a good one that you should enjoy watching because it was good shit, pal. But yeah, Walt, what was your match?
Well, that's a vehicle to turn Jay. That's a vehicle to turn Jay heel. I feel like.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, this isn't going to be a long-term thing, but I think it's.
Yeah.
If I get a couple cool Uso tag matches out of it, what's the I like icing on cakes.
Yeah, for sure. My match of the week was from SmackDown. It was the United States Championship match between one Tommaso Ciampa and Ilya Dragunov. Two guys that I really enjoy watching. One that I have a ton of fandom and respect for in Tommaso Ciampa. To finally get that U.S. title shot that he's been angling for weeks and weeks and weeks, and to show up and deliver and be Tommaso Ciampa. I really, really enjoyed. I could have done without the screwy finish, but it was also extremely predictable because there's no way that you can have Ilya Dragunov lose the title to Tommaso Ciampa in that match, and there's also no way that you can have Tommaso Ciampa, who has been positioning himself as of the last couple of weeks as a bigger deal, losing that spotlight either straight up. So I understand the screwy finish. I did enjoy the match. I felt like it was hard hitting. They beat the fuck out of each other. Ilya Dragunov got his nose busted, blood fucking everywhere. Definitely, that was my match of the week. So
yeah, those guys beat the snot out of each other. That was a lot. When I got done watching, I was like, that was Jesus. That was violent.
Yeah, it certainly was. And I enjoyed every fucking second of it. So shout out to those guys, and shout out to John Cena. And hey, if you're still hanging out with us, shout out to you. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Maybe even consider subscribing. We would greatly appreciate it. Check us out over on Twitter and Instagram at @1_fall WC. That's ONE. And as always, thanks for hanging out. It's all love. We'll catch you next week. One Fall WrestleCast. Oh, and in case you didn't know, you